An old Islamic tale tells the story of a rich and powerful emperor who one day went outside his palace to take his morning walk. Outside the palace door, he ran into a beggar holding a bronze begging bowl in his hands. The emperor asked, "What do you want?" The beggar laughed and said, "You are asking me as if you thought you could fulfill what I want." The emperor was offended at this and said, "I can give you whatever you want. Just ask me." The beggar said, "Be careful what you promise." Said the emperor, "I am a rich and powerful emperor. I can give you anything you want. I can fulfill your every desire." The beggar replied, "It's very simple. I want you to fill this begging bowl with something." "That's easy," replied the emperor. And he turned to his advisors and said, "Fill this man's begging bowl with money." So they came with money and poured it into the bowl. But as soon as they poured it into the bowl, the money disappeared and the bowl was empty again. So they went for more money, and more and more and more, and kept trying to pour it into the bowl. But as soon as it was poured, the bowl was again empty. Word of this spread throughout the palace and throughout the kingdom. People were gathering to watch. Now the emperor's prestige was at stake. So he said, "Even if I have to lose all of my kingdom, I am willing to lose it. But this beggar is not going to get the best of me." So his servants brought diamonds from the treasury and poured them into the bowl. They too disappeared. The same happened with the pearls and the emeralds and the rubies. No matter how much they poured, the bowl remained empty. Finally, at the end of the day, the emperor fell to his knees before the beggar and said, "You win. But before you go away, please tell me one thing to satisfy my curiosity. What is the secret? What is this bowl made of?" The beggar smiled and said, "There is no secret. It is made of human desire." How often do we find that we desire one thing after the other? We want something so very badly, but as soon as we have it, it loses its meaning to us, disappears from our mind, and already we want something else. We so badly want that brand new car, and we're so excited while we're trying to get it. But as soon as we have that car in our driveway, our thoughts are already turning elsewhere. We want a new gadget, or we want a new home, or we want a new husband. Our desires are always going for something more. As soon as our begging bowl is being filled, it is once again empty. What an important lesson to learn that nothing from the outside can fill the bowl of our desire. Only one possession will fill it and fulfill it, and that is when we are in possession of ourselves. For it is when we truly possess ourselves that we find we also possess God. But as long as we keep on turning from one desire to the next, from one thing to another to fill the bowl of our desire, we will always remain beggars. Jesus tells us, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." The famous psychologist Erich Fromm teaches, "Greed is a bottomless pit which exhausts the person in an endless effort to satisfy the need without ever reaching satisfaction." In vain do we try to fill our bowl with things from the outside. As long as we hold up that bowl to such things, we are doomed to a life of frustration, doomed to an empty bowl, doomed to the life of a beggar. Each of us holds a begging bowl in our hands. How we wish it could be filled with something, with anything. Our whole life long, we desperately try to fill it, first with one thing, then with another. And time after time, we find that the more we fill it, the emptier we find it. It is only when we stop trying to fill the bowl, only when we embrace the emptiness, that we can finally look inside that blessedly empty bowl, unobstructed by other things, and for the first time see our own reflection. It is when we embrace our emptiness that we find our fullness. It is then that we find that we are beholding and holding in our hands the very face of God.